Today on Bruin Lens, we have a very special episode lined up as we dive into the exciting journey of the Lactobruins, the SLCC iGEM team. They are getting ready to showcase their synthetic biology project at the international competition in Paris. Bruin Lens starts now. Welcome to Bruin Lens. I'm Shyanne Beecher. Today I'm joined by SLCC iGEM members, or the Lactobruins as they have named themselves. SLCC students Alexis Grimm, teacher aide for biotechnology department and a biotechnology and biology major. Carmelita Andrade, senior orientation leader for Office of Student Success and computer engineering major, and principal investigator for the team and adjunct professor for Asian American experiences, Christina Souknarong. Welcome, Alexis, Carmelita, and Christina. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
How did you guys come up with the name Lactobruins?
So we are trying to genetically modify a natural gut bacteria that you eat all the time in yogurt, and it's called lactobacillus. So we wanted to take that first lacto and combine it with our school Bruins.
I like that. Very creative. Let's get started. Without bogging us down with scientific terms, we'll define synthetic biology first. It is a method of science that combines biology and engineering to design a few new products. The goal is to solve problems in areas like the environment therapeutics. Indeed, the Lactobruins came up with a way to deal with side effects of pollutants on people's bodies. So you have engineered a gene to release an ingredient when it's needed to combat pollutants in the body. Did you want to add to that?
Yeah, so the same way that you take in probiotics all the time, like yogurt or kefir, you would take that, and it's just that the gut bacteria would be amplified with the ability to produce more antioxidants, and those antioxidants help fight back the side effects that come from air pollution that makes us sick.
That's helpful. Definitely helpful. What inspired you to focus on protection from pollution?
Yeah, it is. Air pollution is something that we heavily deal with here in Utah, and we have massive statistical rates of disease here and suicide and mental health problems. And it's also something that's extremely global, and air pollution is in multiple different countries. And so to be able to produce something that only can help us here but can help on a global scale is very important to us.
I like that, especially here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all only had 6 months to prepare for this project, which is much shorter than most teams. How did your team manage to pull everything together so quickly?
Yeah, so that definitely wasn't easy for our team. We definitely had to pick a topic that we were all passionate about and we held the same values in. So we chose this topic, and we chose air pollution. We divided up the tasks into outreach, modeling, researching, and then we had to basically motivate each other so that way we could get everything done. We also had to do a lot of pivoting and last minute change-ups. So one of the big ones was when our iGEM box didn't arrive. The iGEM box basically has a bunch of supplies that our research team would need in order to experiment in the lab. And yeah, we had to take it upon ourselves to reach out to BYU's team and kind of ask for their resources to see if they had any. And they were a big help because with that, we were able to continue with our project.
That's very nice of them.
Yeah.
It's of teamwork for sure. And then, Christina, how did members from different backgrounds, both science-based and non-science-based, come together to work effectively as a team?
Yeah, so we interviewed all of the students that when we put the team together, we had to go through an interview process. So each student had different skills that they provided. So as Carmelita had mentioned, they were broken up into 3 different areas: the research team, outreach team, and the data modeling team. All of the students had something different to contribute within that. With all of the TikToks that we were able to do, the outreach and reaching out to different nonprofit organizations, the outreach team did that, right? And so that was a skill set that Carmelita and her team had. And the research team, most of them were biotechnology students. And so it's just more so of like putting them in the right places and kind of puzzling them in to make sure that they worked cohesively with one another.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys brought these people together.
Yeah.
Craig Caldwell, Dean of the School of Science, Mathematics, and Engineering, mentioned that your team learned to rely on each other before seeking help from coaches or faculty. Can you share an example of this?
Yeah, so one of the aspects of iGEM is that it heavily wants to enforce undergraduate research students to try to be as independent and self-reliant as possible. And so we spent a lot of time in putting together meetings and communication, working on our communication skills, our meeting times, making sure that we knew each other's schedules, each other's skill sets, and trying to amplify each other's ability to learn and efficiently work on their tasks and responsibilities.
Awesome.
And I will also add on to that by saying that the outreach team relied heavily on not just us because we were making TikToks and videos, we were also relying on the research team because a big part of our goal is to make it accessible and easily understandable for many people. So we had to rely on them to make sure our information was accurate, to make sure it was still precise. And yeah, we definitely relied on each other in different ways like that.
I like the teamwork.
Yeah.
Christina, what were your observations of the team as they progressed through this project?
Yeah, I think it was a lot of like them having to learn one another, right? Synergy was a big component of like having any teamwork. So it was about eight different students from all different backgrounds who had no interaction with one another. And so one of the large components as the principal investigator was making sure that they had time to bond with one another. So I had to take a step back and kind of let that happen. And then with that, they've been able to work so well with one another. I think they've been able to form relationships with one another, communicate with one another really well. And they take feedback really well. I think that was like the biggest component of this team is that whenever I provided feedback on like anything that they were doing, they were quick and receptive to making sure those changes were met. And if they had questions, it was something that was open up for them to ask questions and be able to do all of that with me. So it was more so of a team effort of like them trusting me in leading them and then I trusting them in being able to do what they needed to do.
I like that. Yeah. What does representing SLCC on an international stage mean to you personally as a team? We'll start with you.
I think for me, it just means that our students here at Salt Lake Community College have a chance, right? It shows that community college students are able to be innovative, are able to do research. We're competing on a global stage. Like, what other community college do you know gets to go to Paris, France to compete in a research competition like this?
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome.
yeah.
What about you, Carmelita?
I would say I'm personally very proud to be representing SLCC. We are the only community college that is competing this year. So we are with a bunch of universities, like some high schools, but it is very challenging and it could be a little bit intimidating, but I think I'm overall very excited about it and I'm very proud to be on this team.
We are very proud of you guys as well.
Thank you.
And what about you, Alexis?
For me, it's definitely representing the fact that science is not just for the brainiacs up in Harvard. It's to show that science is, with the right funding and accessible education and resources, science is for everybody and can be, you can make changes regardless of where you're at or what your background is, like community college.
Awesome. I like that. Christina, what does representing SLCC on an international stage mean for the college?
We're putting us on the map, right? As Carmelita had said, we're the only community college that's competing, and we're competing against MIT, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, all of the Ivy Leagues that we know here.
Mm-hmm.
And so it really goes to show that like we're putting us on the map. A random community college in Utah is going to be representing us, and we have students to do that. So I think it means something bigger, and it sets the standard higher for our students here. I think it shows that we can be elevated, and when we put standards in place, we will rise to the occasion. So I think it means so much more than just going to compete and going to Paris. It means that we can rise to the occasion.
Definitely. I like that. What skills or lessons have you gained from this experience that you think will help you in your future careers? We'll start with you, Carmelita.
I think I've learned a lot of different skills that could be applicable to any type of career: teamwork, collaboration, quick thinking, problem solving. But more specifically for the outreach team that I was on, we kind of had to learn how to take these kind of difficult biology terms and kind of translate them into words that everybody could understand and make it more accessible for everybody. And so that gave me a chance to be more creative with these sciencey ideas. And yeah, on top of that, I just am very passionate about making sure everybody has about education and making sure everybody's aware about these issues that go on, especially in our community.
And what about you, Alexis?
As the wet lab manager, my goals for career is continuing to work in research. So it's been a great opportunity to expand my ability to design and draft and edit and implement different techniques and methods for research, as well as organize and delegate a lab and a team, and definitely with the communication skills has been really nice.
Awesome. What about you, Christina?
I think for me, this just gave me an opportunity to work with students and like help them find inspiration and aspiration in this. I work at the college, so my whole career is working with students and helping them find that empowerment and being able to help them do that. So I think for me, it's been a very fruitful, long journey, but skill sets that I learned is that students have the capabilities to do anything as long as you help guide them and you lead them where they need to go, and they'll do everything that they can with the tools that you provide. So
yeah. And then we'll stick with you for just a second. Mm-hmm. After this year's iGEM competition, what's next for the Lactobruins? Do you plan to continue on developing a new project for 2026?
So for the Lactobruins, I think the students want to continue on this project. It is a pricey thing to send a team to Paris, France. It's not cheap. But one of the great things is that the students feel so passionately that they're continuing this on at other conferences. I believe ACS is one of them, right, Alexis? Yeah. So if you wanted to speak more on that.
Yeah, so we want to participate in the American Chemical Society's conference that will be in Atlanta, Georgia next year, and be able to continue to work and really hone in our project and present it there as well.
That would be cool. In Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Any favorite memories from working together as a team that y'all want to share?
For a summer break, we went to Idaho and went around and played in the rivers and stayed at a friend's family house and got to see some bald eagles and eat good food and go boating, and it was really nice bonding experience.
That's awesome. What about you, Carmelita?
I would say we had many throughout the entire 6 months, but one of my favorites is also Idaho. It kind of gave us a chance to be kind of friends instead of just iGEM team members. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think I made a lot of connections with the team, and it was a very fun time for me.
Love that. You guys are making new friends. And then we'll end with Christina.
I think for me, it's watching the students' growth and all of that. I didn't go to the Idaho trip because I wanted them to bond with that, but I think for me, it was watching their growth, getting to have one-on-one sessions with them and learning about them as individuals, and then seeing how I could map that into how they could work more cohesively with one another. Because again, they're wonderful students that have made such huge strides to make a difference and want to change the world for the better. I think air pollution is something really big. So I think it's seeing their passion for the project, but also the passion that they have for one another and the care that they've been able to do that. So it's their development.
Yeah, especially in 6 months.
6 months is crazy, yeah.
So any plans for sightseeing or trying French food while you guys are out there?
Yes.
Yeah, we're looking at like the catacombs and the Palace of Versailles, and we're really excited to get really good quality food and put together a charcuterie board and everything ourselves.
Yes, especially those French pastries.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm ready
That
for some
baguette?
chocolate.
Yes, the baguette, the chocolate, the cheese.
Yeah.
Well, we here are very proud of the Lactobruins. Thank you for representing SLCC in Paris at the iGEM competition. Do you want to give your team's social handle?
Yes, we are iGEM SLCC on Instagram and TikTok, and we will be updating on our project and our trip to Paris.
I can't wait to see the TikToks and all of that. It's going to be so fun. That's it for this episode of Bruin Lens. To watch this episode and past episodes of Bruin Lens, go to globeslcc.com or find us on facebook.com/slccsmc. Or find us on YouTube, X, and Instagram at SLCCSMC. I'm Shyanne Beecher. Thanks for joining us on Bruin Lens.